Good afternoon. Airport operator Aena said that 54 flights to and from its terminals were affected by the Heathrow power outage this morning, and 20 of them were already cancelled as of 10 a.m. The state-controlled operator of all Spain's commercial airports said in a social media post that 29 connections were scheduled in Madrid, 19 in Barcelona, and 6 in Malaga, Tenerife and Valencia. 20 flights to and from Madrid and Barcelona were cancelled this morning, so Aena said in another post, whilst 5 flights bound for Heathrow were diverted to Madrid's Barajas airport. Aena recommends that travellers contact airlines for information about their flights. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez will travel to China in April to meet with President Xi Jinping, so a government spokesperson said this morning. Sanchez will also visit Vietnam during his trip to Asia. Sanchez last visited China in September when he sought to defuse trade tensions between the European Union and Beijing over tariffs on China-manufactured electric vehicles. Parliament yesterday voted to remove wolves' protected status 4 years after their inclusion, opening the way for the predators to be hunted again in the rural north of the country. Farmers hailed the measure, whilst conservationists deplored it as tragic, both for wolves and the country's biodiversity. Parliament's action reverses a measure introduced by the Socialist government in 2021 that extended protection for the wolf north of the Douro River. Controlled wolf hunting had been allowed until then in northern Spain. Efforts to protect the wolf in Europe are faltering after the European Commission last week proposed to downgrade the animal's protective status because of their growing numbers and the threat they pose to livestock. Yesterday's move by lawmakers was approved in an amendment to a law about food waste proposed by the Conservative People's Party. Controlled wolf hunting can restart when the law is published in a few days' time. The Agricultural Association, the COAG, celebrated the change after years of organising protests against the measures on behalf of farmers who said their livelihoods were at risk. And Madrid has activated emergency measures as some of the heaviest rainfall since records began has raised the risk of flooding across the region, prompting authorities to urge residents to avoid unnecessary travel. Emergency services are closely monitoring the situation. The swelling of the Manzanares River has forced the closure of sections of the M30 ring road. Many schools and places of work have decided to remain closed as heavy downpours persist and look to continue all weekend. Emergency services say the situation remains critical, with potential for further measures depending on developments with the rain situation. That's the latest from TRE. I'm Bob James.